Okay. Hey guys, today we are gonna talk about Egyptian revolution. I'm Vincent. Here's my group members, Victor and Sean. So I'm going to analyze the cause of protests, and then we talk about other aspects later. On Jan 25, Egyptian revolution first broke out. It was a large-scale revolution in Arab world since 1977. The uprising took place in Cairo, Alexandria, and other cities in Egypt, which led by the Egyptian citizens in all classes. That's the demand the overthrow of the regime of Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak. For Mubarak's regime for 13 years, people fed up with political issues, including police brutality, emergency law, corruption, and economic issues. Being inspired by the successful Tunisian revolution, which overthrew the long-time Tunisian president, people want to follow their steps and reveal their grievance. Okay, that's all. The emergency law is still going since President Sadat's assassination in 1981. Under the law, government's power is extended while democratic rights and human rights are limited. So the government can imprison to anyone infinitely, even without any reasons. However, the president all along rejected to drop this law and claimed that being the threat of terrorism and opposing groups like Muslim Brotherhood could come into power. Hence, this also led to the police brutality. On Jan 25, it was also National Police Day. The purpose was to protest against abuse by the police in front of the Ministry of Interior. According to a report from the US Embassy in Egypt, police brutality against common criminals is routine and pervasive. They use brutal methods to extract confessions or any petty disputes. Although there are many evidence like videos to prove the abuse of citizens by security officials, the government lacks of political will to take substantive action to change the culture of the police brutality. Thank you. So, which are locked? Okay. Corruption problem is very common in Egypt. People normally think that the only way to become rich is to tie with National Democratic Party. According to Transparency International Corruption Perception Index, which is also called CPI, report in 2010, it assessed Egypt with a CPI score of 3.1, which 10 is clean and 0 is totally corrupt. Moreover, according to an UN survey, voter turnout is extremely low because of the lack of trust in the corrupt representation system. The living standard for the average Egyptian is poor. They have to face the high food price inflation but very low minimum wage. In late 2010, around 40% of Egypt's population, they are just received roughly for US $2 per day, which mostly they have to rely on subsidized goods. Moreover, the unemployment rate is increasing since 2009. Job opportunities have grown at a slower rate compared to rapid increase in population. I made a lot of these mistakes.
Hi guys, I'm Victor. Today I'm gonna talk about what the Egypt government has been to the protesters. During Hosni Mubarak was positioned in the president of Egypt, youth unemployment and economic situation worse. That's why Egypt citizens democracy movement began. So Egypt government was done to reform of Egypt for go against public settlement. President Mubarak ordered to invest public corruption and election fraud. The payment of public workers and a pension increased 15%. As curfew existed, this effort for turn public settlement persisted. However, after 15 days, the president's speech a promise reforming the Egypt, but nothing changed. In particular, the police were shooting at the unarmed citizens, and putting the bike racing between global people demonstration. When the scale of the demonstration to be bigger, Egypt government pronounced to cure threatened by the military force. The largest protest was planned for Friday on 26 March 2011, at which point the government took the unprecedented step of blocking all the way to throw out the facts that what happened in Egypt by anti-government. Blocking the internet service and all the social networking outlets fell down, like Twitter and Facebook, even email. Text messaging to overseas also blocked. So protesters and journalists began finding alternate means of getting online and pushing out information. Then, at the protest on the street and the square, Egyptian police used the water cannon on Nobel Peace Prize winner or pro-democracy leader Muhammad al-Baradei and his supporters as anti-Mubarak protests hit up Friday. Then al-Baradei was put under house arrest as Riyadh police used tear gas and rubber bullets on protesters. The Muslim Brotherhood says at least 5 its leader and 5 former members of parliament have been arrested. In conclusion, each government also chose the way to cure the protest as the Chinese government the mistake. They are shooting the gun to somewhere that people standing. Therefore, some people die without any reason. This is end of my presentation. Then next part, Shirin gonna be present for you guys. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Victor, for introducing me. I am Shilan. I'd like to introduce myself. Right now, I'm here going to talk about the social media and its role in the Egyptian revolution. Many protesters use the social media to organize their protests and the revolts, and the introduction of social media has played a very important role in the Egyptian revolution. As we can see, groups such as We Are All Khaled Saeed on Facebook, which attracted hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world, and people posted their comments and thus ended up creating a big revolution. It was also said that one of the protesters on his Twitter tweeted that they use Facebook to schedule their processes, Twitter to coordinate, and YouTube to show the world that they're revolting. This means that the social media has played a very important role in the revolution. It is also believed that a handful of people did something that sparked up the revolution, the Egyptian revolution, using Facebook and Twitter. They created groups on Facebook and posted videos of the death of Khalid Said, showing that the police beat him up, and all. One of them is the Google executive. His name is Wael Ghanem. He's the one who created the account of the Facebook account for everyone, and he's the one who started by posting that video. Another major protester involved in the usage of social media to create the revolution was Asma Mahfouz, who posted videos telling the people to meet her in Tahrir Square in order to start a revolution, to organize everything, and how they were going to protest. In the video, she also posted a video showing that 4 protesters died, committed suicide, burned themselves down because they had to suffer 30 years of poverty and undergrading. She also posted another video showing that how the people are preparing for the protests and making banners and flyers in order to protest well. These videos were firstly posted on Facebook, then were posted on YouTube. However, even if these people did all that, they posted the videos of Khalid Said being killed, the public in Egypt also did the part. They understood that it wasn't worth doing the revolution. They helped by preventing the world from getting a bad image of Egypt and President Mubarak by posting comments on Facebook stating that it was stating objects that would keep the public abreast from the events that took place in Egypt, and also posted videos that showed that Khalid Said wasn't killed by the policeman. He chalked himself to that. Thank you. And now I will introduce Mr. Mohammed. He's going to talk to you of another aspect. So thank you very much.
Yeah, perfect.
Look at the camera. Thanks, Philin, for introducing me. I will speak about the 4th aspect of the Egyptian Revolution. The main reason for the Egyptian Revolution is that the violence of the human rights in the last years. It's not surprising how the government used violence to suppress protests during this peaceful demonstration. Egyptian government has dealt aggressively with the demonstrators in Tahrir Square directly and indirectly. Initially, the military police used buttons and electronic products to break up the demonstration. Also, they give order to the fly force to fly over the protester for hours to intimidate them. Next, the police made to a Bedouin were working around the pyramids to attack the protester. During these attacks, police were absent from the Tahrir Square. Also, injured protesters were prohibited from going to the hospital, and police contacted any medical or medicines stuff they found with protesters. That also how the government dealt aggressively with those people who were asking for their own rights. Thanks for listening to me.